Why America's drop in international students matters for its future. According to new data highlighted by the New York Times and other outlets, new international student enrollment in the United States fell by about 17% this fall. The overall number of foreign students dropped only about 1%, but the sharp decline in first-time enrollees signals deeper trouble ahead. College officials say the combination of visa delays, tougher screening, talk of caps on foreign students, and wider attacks on higher education has made many of the world's best students think twice about coming here. Universities worry because international students are essential to their budgets and to their labs, especially at the graduate level. Historically, the United States has outperformed almost every other country at attracting talented outsiders. It's rich. For more than a century, foreign students have fueled American innovation, turning universities into engines of economic growth, scientific breakthroughs, entrepreneurship, and job creation. Other countries educate talent. America's advantage has been that it's actually kept the talent and turned it into companies, research labs, and jobs here. If that pipeline narrows now, the damage compounds for decades. Okay, what's the real message here? America is saying to the best and brightest of the entire world, don't come here anymore. And that is going to result in a lowered bottom line for America, maybe not tomorrow or the next day, but 10, 20, 30 years from now, it's going to really hurt. After all, it was students who came here from other countries who started Google, who started Tesla, and who started a lot of other countries. That could all go now to Canada or Mexico or other countries. Problem for us. Let's dig a little deeper here. So every country has some relative strengths and weaknesses. The United States has a lot of strengths. We've got this big geography. We have no enemies to our east or our west because it's an ocean. We really have, until recently, had no enemies to the north because Canada was a great ally. Mexico, yeah, we were in skirmishes a long time ago, but they've been a great ally. So we've got that peace, that safety that the average country in Europe really doesn't have. We have that asset. We have the strength of the US dollar, which is the world's currency. That's a great asset. But we also have this intellectual capital. The best new ideas are constantly streaming into the US, and that's under assault. That's under a threat right now because of current administration policies. Now, India and China have been the biggest sources of foreign students, but they've come from all over, as in the case of Elon Musk coming from, well, South Africa and Canada before coming to the United States. Let's look at some of the specific countries involved, because the laundry list of students came here, studied at our schools, but then went on to prominence is just absolutely amazing. I want to share with you some of the people, and you're familiar with a lot of these names, obviously, but sometimes we forget. Jensen Huang, 29,000 employees from NVIDIA. And chances are, if you have any kind of stock portfolio, certainly if you have S&P 500, you know about NVIDIA, and you're thinking, thank goodness he came to this country and started a company. Sergey Brin started Google, came from the former Soviet Union. That's 180,000 employees. Do you really think we'd be better off if Sergey Brin had created Google in Russia? I don't think so. Now, it's not always people who were the founders of a company. It could be people who went on to become the CEO, like Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft. He didn't create it, obviously, Bill Gates did. Vinod Khosla, Sun Microsystems, 38,000 employees at its peak. Patrick Collison, Stripe. He started off at MIT at first. Anil Bhusri, founder of Workday, 17,500 employees. He started at Brown University. So these universities are tremendous gateways to the best and the brightest of the entire world. Folks, there is a reason why the United States economy has grown so dramatically since the Great Recession, 2008, compared to Europe and compared to every other place in the world. It's partially because of our great tech companies have taken over the world, for better or worse. But you have to dig a little deeper and figure out who started a lot of these tech companies, who's running them, who's doing the hard work, who's programming. It is foreigners who first entered the United States as students, came here, liked our life, liked our relative wealth, in many cases fell in love, decided to get married here, start a family here, start a business here, and they never left. You and I are all rich because of it. The founders of the online, I didn't include this in the list, but the founders of the online company Udemy, originally from Turkey. I have my house today. I have so many material possessions because a couple of founders decided to leave Turkey and come to the United States. Now, they weren't students at the time. This academic world, this higher education, is a fantastic pipeline, and it benefits America. It also benefits students in schools. For starters, most of the time when students come from foreign countries, they're paying full freight. They are, not always, but by and large, they are the lucky offspring of wealthy parents. And the wealthy parents say, hey, I want my kid to have unlimited potential for their career, so I'm willing to pay top dollar to send them to the Stanfords of the world, the Harvards of the world, and all sorts of schools that maybe are not necessarily as hard to get into. They're bringing in tremendous money. And every student who comes, there's all these spin-off effects of money coming in. First of all, their parents come. There's a lot of travel. There's a lot of tourism. There's all the money they spend on food and boarding, typically for 4 years or more. It's a massive infusion of outsider cash from other countries into the United States. And we're telling people, no, we don't want your money. We don't want your brains. We don't want your hard work. It's absolutely insanity. Now, it's not going to show up in the bottom line in the next week or month or quarter. It's long term. In the same way that we didn't instantly get richer just when Sergey Brin went to Stanford and came to the United States. But it did happen, a decade or so later when Google really took off. So I want you to be concerned about this. And it's very easy to be jingoistic and say, yes, we're America, Americans first, and America students, and let's kick out these foreigners. Be careful what you ask for. Part of what makes America great is we're not like a company like France, or a country like France. I like France. I like visiting there. I've lived there for a month at a time. I love it, but you don't see the most brilliant young scientific minds from India, from China, and other places saying, wow, my dream is to move to Paris and start the next Google and to start the next Tesla and to go to university there because it seems like such a great hotbed of technology innovation, venture capital, and a way of capturing top talent to start my start. You don't see that because it is not as open to letting people and staying. Now, it's true, there are other countries that say to students, come on in. Soon as your education is over, bye-bye. We've made it, in the past anyway, easier for students who come, develop a life, perhaps find a spouse, start a business, to legally stay here and hire people and make money for themselves and for us. But you don't know that when someone is 17 or 18 years old and they're kind of a blank slate and they're simply applying for a slot at a university. You don't know that. You have to take a risk. So from America's standpoint, it's a risk that has paid off again and again and again.